running out of kryptonite to take you through the night, to take you through the night.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here tonight in the Silverback Tax Series. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Brandon Domain. Brandon, we're up here in the Northeast, up in New Hampshire. I think this might be a first time for Speed Racing Network. Kind of surprising we've never come here. A very difficult 1 mile oval that these guys are going to have to tackle tonight.
Yeah, very difficult, very magical 1 mile oval out here in Louden, New Hampshire. But yeah, I do believe this is the first time, or if it has happened, it's way back before even SRN. It was back in like the Mid-South Madness days, but it has been quite some time for sure. And I'm just excited. We got drivers only up here in the booth technically once again. Nice job last night at Talladega. We'll see you can do a nice job here tonight at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be in over my head for sure, but it was great to get back out there, and it's great to be back up here in the booth with you, like you said. But these guys still have a few minutes to wrap up qualifying. Pretty big field here tonight. I think we're just under 40 cars in the Silverback Tax Series. So let's go ahead and take a look at these points as they stand after week 6. Joshua Balliet still at the top of the board with that one win. Jacob Manning holding on to second. Joby Ray moving up, though, quickly with 2 wins to his name. Seth Reed there in fourth. And Kyle Benson up to the top 5 now with that win last week.
Yeah, they are absolutely on a tear right now, and you look at that entire top 8, they are a full race clear of that cut line here. As we get to the midway point in the regular season, that's marked on today's race. So this season starting to approach pretty quickly, getting towards that playoff push.
Yeah, so Austin Reedy there too, there in 6th. He was your runner-up last week, so mentioned the top 3 drivers right there. So if you guys gonna have to start making some dues here and pick up some ground on that cut line. But let's go ahead and check out last week's results in the team standings. Another thing that's starting to heat up here with only 2 teams gonna go toe-to-toe here in the last 3 weeks of the season. JW going up against JBR. They win it 100-80. Phoenix wins against Bobby Anderson Racing 108-73. Highline getting the W over Tank Racing. That was a close one. 9-point difference there, 86-77 in favor of Highline Racing. And Murray Reedy Motorsports with the highest total of the week. Well, actually, no, Phoenix up there. My math is not good tonight, Brandon. Murray Reedy Motorsports winning at 102-56.
And the big one last week was Highline getting the edge there over Tank in a bit of an upset. Highline, their second win on the season. That was Tank's second loss. With that and the JW win, that's actually separated those two for the first time this season, as JW now sitting atop the standings all by themselves. But look how close the rest of the field is, all within 2 races of each other.
Yeah, kind of crazy to see that. And the 4-way tie from 4th to 7th there. A lot to settle there between those drivers and those teams. But yeah, JW Tank Racing, Phoenix Virtual Racing, those are your top 3. Phoenix has looked tough here the last couple of weeks as well. So look for these 3 teams here tonight. And only 28 points separating those top 2 teams. And let's check out those matchups here tonight. Not much time left here in qualifying, but Tank Racing going to go up against JBR, so that's a 4-2 matchup going up against one of those 2 and 3 and 1 teams here tonight. PVR up against JW. That'll be a great matchup with the momentum Phoenix has had, and JW obviously having a great season at 5-1. Murray Reedy Motorsports going up against Bobby Anderson Racing. Kyle Benson, last week's winner, a part of Murray Reedy Motorsports, as well as Austin Reedy, so they'll see if they can keep some momentum going for their team. And Blackout going up against HLR, that's Highline Racing. That's your 4th matchup this week.
Yeah, and this is kind of a separation week right here. We're halfway into the individual side of the regular season, still 10 weeks to go after tonight. In the team side of things, is we're going to have that 3-race series there at the end of the season, but this is going to be big in separating things. PVR with a good chance of keeping up that momentum. They might be able to kind of pull JW back towards the field. Everybody else is trying to break away from that big cluster that we see there in that bottom 5, so this is going to be a really interesting week for these teams.
Absolutely. So just under a minute left to go in qualifying. A few guys still out there getting that time in, waiting for that track to cool off. So got to give a big shout out, as always, here on Speed Racing Network to Butt Kicker for sponsoring us again here in Season 4. Go ahead, check out what they have to offer. Perfect time of year to get that sim racer in your life. The nice little gift. So go ahead, head over to buttkicker.com. One of the best piece of equipment you can have here on iRacing, Brandon.
Certainly is, and they've also been a great partner with us here for multiple seasons now, and just a great device. You always say it's the holiday season coming up. That's we're not going to say a stocking stuffer, but for the iRacer in your life, might be a good idea out there. So go check out Butt Kicker online.
Absolutely, and also got to go ahead and give a quick shout out to TJ's team Foundation for coming on board as well. Not a bad time of year to give a little bit if you have it. Go ahead and head over to morethanAcape.org. It's a great foundation as well, Brandon.
Yeah, it's a great foundation, and we talk about gifts and we talk about things like that in the holiday season. Also a tremendous time to donate, and they are a fantastic group that does a lot for families that are dealing with childhood illnesses and just trying to get by in very challenging times. So if you're able, please check them out and donate if you can.
So let's head out there on the track. The guys starting to get gridded up on pit road here at New Hampshire Speedway. And Colt Martin getting the pole tonight on that 10 machine, a time of 30.606. Joshua Susi on the front row too, rookie here in the Silverback Tag Series. He's going to go ahead and try to go toe-to-toe with one of the most winningest drivers here in SRN. Vincent Cortez, good to see him up on the second row with Daniel Bowdler, two veterans who are no stranger to victory lane. That's going to be your second row tonight.
And in row number 3, we're going to have Jacob Manning out of JW Racing, and Joshua Balliet, the points leader, will be starting in position number 6 for Tank Racing. Kyle Benson is going to be in position number 7 for Murray Reedy Motorsports with Tank Racing's Max Service on the outside. Row 5 will be Seth Reed out of JW Racing, and Logan Joyner out of Phoenix Virtual Racing with Logan Truitt out of JBR, and Cody Neal, an independent driver, rounding out the top 12.
Yeah, just to give you the rest of your top 20, Adrian Schumacher, Devin Zimmerman, two Tank Racing teammates. That's going to be row number 7. Joshua Siegfried, Jeremy Little in row number 8. Austin Reedy and Jackson Wade. That's going to be your 9th row with Bo Tiffany and Nick Halda rounding out your top 20. So looking like that pace car is just about to start moving, and there it goes. It's almost time to get it going here at the Magic Mile. Like I said, Brandon, big field here tonight. 37 cars in the field. Who do you think you're picking here?
Well, I tell you what, I've done a kind of a job lately of trying to find some guys that are a little bit farther back, but I can't ignore one person. These flat tracks this season, there's been a couple of names that have really stood out. I'm going to go Kyle Benson, though. He's starting up towards the front in that 7th position, just really, really strong. Top 3 finishes in both of the flat tracks this season. I think that continues tonight.
I like the pick. I'm looking through the field, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take the man starting in 3rd tonight. I'm going to take Vincent Cortez in that 23 machine for Tank Racing. I think he gets his first win of the season here tonight at New Hampshire. So about to see that pace car head down pit road. The field is going to be in the hands of the number 10 machine there, the Mountain Dew Code Red car. I got to admit, when I used to drink Mountain Dew, I loved Code Red, so I love that car here tonight. And I love that the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag is waving here as well. Really wide and deceptive track almost, and a really technical track that these guys are going to have to tackle here tonight. A lot of lines to run, but a lot of ways to run out of track as well.
Yeah, it's such an odd track, and a lot of people think this is just one of those bottom feeder racetracks where you just want to hold on the inside, and that's absolutely going to be the primary way around here for a lot of drivers, but you have plenty of options. It's such a wide racing surface. You can even see these guys right now. They're running a lot higher than I was even anticipating. Part of it just trying to diamond the turn, get a big run out of those turns, but they're really using up a lot more racetrack than I think we typically expect for New Hampshire.
So some side-by-side battles here. The first 5 is single filed out for the time being. And just as I say that, we got a pass right here. That's the 53 going by. We got Chris Bishop going around. The 42 turned around and turned 3 and 4.
And Chris Bishop, I saw a couple of other cars near him on my second view. It was towards the back half of the pack there. Not too sure what sparked that, but it's going to be a pretty early caution. And this is one of those things you got to be careful of here at New Hampshire, is cautions will definitely breed cautions. As we go to the admin box rec replay, we've got Chris Bishop to the inside, just a late entry into that turn compared to everybody around him. And I think that checkup just got him bent out of shape there, just got that car loose and got turned around.
I think that's not going to be the last time we see this tonight, which is how difficult this track is. Heavy braking, real heavy braking. I mean, these guys have really, he was just going to get right into the back of the 52 and just ends up turning it around. And I think this was the least that could possibly happen, and a great save by the 42. Tonight's going to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a little bit of damage there. I think he got somewhat collected there with somebody else. But in the end of the day, I think he did the right thing, just kind of sacrificed himself, knew that was going to go wrong, and even came on the radio and said, hey, that's on me 100%. So it's going to be an easy job for the admins on that caution. But I think he did the right thing there, knew he was coming in way too hot, and just kind of turned himself around there.
So he's going to fall back to 34th after starting the night in 24th position. Early caution here. Cole Martin still our leader. A few guys coming down pit road. Jeff Racky, Kyle Spees. We saw the topping off strategy work for Kyle Spees here tonight. Not sure if that's what he's doing or if he has a little bit of damage. But he's going to fall to the back of the field as it runs in 36. Josh Marcy ended up not taking the track. So only 36 trucks here in the field.
Yeah, field of 36, but it's still going to be a pretty tight race out there for a lot of these guys. But you talk about topping off and maybe getting a little look at, I think that's going to be more. Maybe they made a little bit of contact with some other people and wanted to get some damage checked out on that initial start, because you're looking at about 70 laps that these guys can go on a tank of fuel here, and that 75% fuel cell. I don't think they're going to be able to stretch that 95 laps.
Yeah, so the pace car lights are off. They're getting the field gridded back up here and getting ready to go. Still got a long way to go in this thing. We'll get the thing kicked back off with going on lap number 6. So I think they're going to get it sorted out here, because this is one of the tracks where either you're great or you're not so great, and you're going to be kind of separated from the rest of the pack. We'll see who rises to the top of this field, and so far that 10 really holding on. Vincent Cortez picking up a spot, starting in second this time. Josh Susi there in third. Bowler going to start fourth. Jacob Manning going to restart P number 5. Looking at it, they're in that Geico restart zone, and that's Silverback Tax Solutions green flag back waving here at New Hampshire. Cole Martin gets out to a great lead.
Man, he got a fantastic jumps up to the outside line to get that that line that he wants going into the turn. And I think really up front, these are a lot of the guys that typically will settle into the pace of the race here. They'll kind of just wait until things get later on to get super aggressive out there. I think it's mostly going to be a lot of things in the mid-pack and farther back than that are going to be a lot more racy, trying to set themselves up into position. Unlike Gateway, where we talked about how it was incredibly difficult to set up a pass, here at New Hampshire, it's a little bit easier. Oh, we got trouble there. Oh, that's the points leader, Joshua Balliet.
Yeah, big-time damage there for the 7. Looked like he might have had some help, and 2 cautions here very early on. Not boding well for a big field here at New Hampshire. So let's go ahead, cue up that admin box rec replay, see if we can figure out what happened to our points leader.
Well, let's see. There we got Balliet in the white, orange, and purple. It's got Kyle Benson and Logan Joyner alongside. Joyner with a dive down into the turn, just kind of washes up there, came in a little bit hot and gets in to the 7 car, and I think that actually collects Jeremy Little as well. So it starts with Logan Joyner, one of the PVR drivers, getting into the 7 of Balliet, and it ends with Jeremy Little, another PVR driver, getting collected in the follow-up of it. So that's a rough caution here for Phoenix Virtual Racing. Ooh. And that's a heavy hit to that right front. He might have hit that exactly on the wheel, and that could be a long night for Jeremy Little if that's the case.
That is a big hit there, and that is going to be a long time spent on pit road, more than likely. So a little bit of help for the 7 machine, big time damage for the 7, and have to imagine this might turn into one of those weeks where his drop week will be utilized, and we'll start scoring those here in the next couple of weeks and have those points for you and see how that cut line starts narrowing. But that big lead that he had here tonight coming into this week, well, she got him for the point.
Well, and for his case, and you never want to think about, hey, I can burn a race or anything. Aside from an 18th place finish at Gateway, he's had nothing but top 10s this season. So if anybody's in a position where a drop week might not be the worst thing, it is Joshua Balliet. But that's one of those things, you know, we're at the halfway point in the season, still a lot of time. You still don't want to be in that mindset of, it's okay if I'm going to use this drop week, because those can start building up quicker and quicker than you anticipate.
Yeah, you never want to use one, but you love that you have them nonetheless. So there you see the points as they are. And coming into this week, Balliet had a 7-point lead over Manning. Those regular season points are going to matter, so this is going to be an important fix to get that 7 car back out there on track, not only for himself, but for his tank racing teammates as well. So we'll see if Balliet, and there you see, not the longest pit stop in the world, but have to imagine that pace car was coming back around.
Oh, it absolutely was. He just barely beats that pace car off a pit road, so that was all strategic, and looks like we're getting ready to go racing this time by, so I don't think he got all that damage repaired just yet. He might be just hanging on, hoping that another caution comes up. Meanwhile, everybody else is hoping, let's see some green flag laps here and settle in.
I'm hoping that too, man. I'm thoroughly excited to not only see it here tonight, but get out there and race in the Truck Series in 2 weeks out at New Hampshire. This is one of my favorite tracks. I think it bodes some really good racing once we get it going, but it's one of the tougher tracks on the circuit with how heavy braking it is into turns 1 and 3. So we'll see if they can get it going here as those pace car lights are off.
And we got a Balliet and Schumacher just still trying to catch up to the field here. They might have a little bit of speed as they catch up. They might actually get there just in time as the pace car dives off into turn and off onto pit road and the field off of turn 4.
Yeah, Silverback Tag Solutions, green flag back out here at New Hampshire. And just like he's done all night, Cole Martin gets another great jump just behind him. Susie's going to take second from Vincent Cortez. Cortez using that diamond line to get a good run off of 2. That's Jacob Manning to the inside. He's going to take 4th from Bowdler.
And they're all going to get situated single file here throughout the top 7 or so as we go back to Seth Reed, Kyle Benson. Now they're going to start getting side by side once again. Thought they were going to try to get straightened out single file up until maybe about the 10th position, but seems like everybody's starting to get a little bit racy, maybe thinking green flag laps might be at a premium, and they got to make a move here.
Riding on board the 6 of Daniel Bowdler just behind Vincent Cortez, and you can see how tight it is. Manning clears him there, opts to stay on the inside line. Bowdler trying everything to maintain the track position and try and get a good run off, but just can't beat that 50. That 50 looks good on the inside lane there.
Really does, and that's kind of the more traditional line that you typically see around this track in Loudon, where he's just kind of holding that bottom line pretty well. There's a little bit more grip down there, so you can see the texture difference, the pavement difference there. So it's just different handling cars. Some people will like how it feels on those higher lanes. Some are going to like how it feels in the lower lanes. Clearly looks like Manning likes those inside lines, and he's making it work, getting big runs into the turn, giving up a little bit of speed on exit, but he's really powering through into the entries.
Yeah, he clears Vincent Cortez like it was nothing there, and, you know, Manning not wanting to burn his stuff up early on in runs, so I have to imagine he's not too worried about where he's going at the time being with those tires, because he's one fast and probably two still saving as he's putting some gap between him and the 23, and looking forward to that 53 of Josh Susie.
Yeah, that 50 looking like it's on rails right now, and I like this actually. He's starting to run those middle lines like we were seeing everybody else run. That tells me he's got some versatility in what line he can choose throughout this race, and that is going to come into handy big time for that 50 car.
Right now, a good battle for the lead. Wow, Cole Martin using all of the turn there in turns 1 and 2. He's going to get a good run down the backstretch. And the 53, ooh, the 6 gets into, I believe, that's Seth Reed.
Heck of a save for Seth Reed, and that 51 car still not out of it yet. You can see those tires still angry. That car still unsettled as he tries to keep that thing going straight. Does a great job keeping that thing from getting ultra loose there through 3 and 4, but you could see that car sliding all over the place. That was a handful there in 3 and 4. Great job by Reed.
Yeah, he's not done. He's battling here side by side with the 47. That's Cody Neal, a newcomer here in Speed Racing Network. But now Austin Reedy sees blood in the water. He wants to go to the inside of the 47, maybe pick himself up a position because he's got some heat from behind too. That's Josh Siegfried and Logan Truitt right on his heels.
Man, and everybody, once you're within a car length or so, you're seeing that opportunity to just dive into the entry of the turn and just try to power by, maybe slide up in front if you can really get clear in the middle of the turn and just block any run that they might have, as you just see Austin Reedy do that. Earlier we saw Jacob Manning kind of hold that bottom line and not come up when he was clear. Part of that being, if you're in a good position, you know who's behind you, you kind of might know, hey, they break a little bit deeper. I don't want to put myself in that path. Of maybe they break later than I do and getting collected into something. This is a big chess match out here in this type of racetrack. We talked about that last night with Talladega. Very different version of it here. It's about where you put that race car and what kind of danger you're wanting to expose yourself to with how many times you can be dived in on into these entries.
Susie to the inside of the 10. He wants to lead some laps here tonight at New Hampshire for JW Racing. Really putting the pressure on the 10 of Cole Martin. Cole, he's used to this pressure, so we'll see if he can maintain that lead or if this 53 gets on by. Both of them running very different lines here through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I see a little bit more of a lower line here. We got trouble out on the racetrack. Looks like the 47 of Cody Neal around in turns 1 and 2. There he is looping it back around. And we saw him in a bit of a hornet's nest there not too long ago with how much was going on in that around that top 10 position.
Yeah, so we'll queue up another admin box rec replay here. So we can figure out what happened to the 47. Seems like a long spin. I'm going to have to rewind it a little bit, bring it up here for you guys there. So that's Craig Lautenslager to the inside to 99. Looks like he just got into the bumper there a little bit. 47 almost saves it, overcorrects. Puts it right into the wall. I don't think anybody's going to be involved, though. I think it's going to be minimal damage there for the 47 as well.
Well, Cody, the overcorrect happens to the best of us. Trust me, I learned that at Richmond earlier this week. But, yeah, I mean, that's just a tough break there. That's a rough one. It looked like Cody was wanting to come down a little bit lower. Might not have expected that Lautenslager was kind of holding that second line, and they just kind of met in the middle there. Just heard over the radio chat, EOL for cause caution, going to go on the 99. I think if there was one that was going to get it, that does make sense. That was a bit of a 50-50 though at times. I would have understood if it was a racing incident also.
So that's going to bring up a few drivers. And when I say few, everybody but seven drivers opting to stay out. Everybody else coming down a pit road here, and nobody a lap down. So this is going to be interesting restart, to say the least. Martin, Benson, Reedy, Truitt, McKinney, Murray, and Spees, all the drivers that opted to not come down this time.
Yeah, and that tells you that they think the track position is going to be very, very important here. And obviously we talked about 70 laps or so, green flag laps that they could get out on the fuel run here. I don't see enough caution laps to stretch it the full distance, but they're kind of banking on maybe kind of getting about halfway or so and then coming down pit road, I would imagine. But these seven, they stayed out. First one off of pit road, going to be Jacob Manning, so he's going to lead the way on those fresh tires, restarting position number 8. And
they're going to have to get gridded up here quickly, because I think we're seeing the 1 to go signal here with no cars a lap down, that's going to make these cautions go by a lot quicker. Oh, no, the light's still on there. Barney lied.
Barney just kind of messing with us here in the booth there tonight.
I saw the one, but no, we're going to stay under caution here. Just go through your top 10. Cole Martin, your leader. He's led every lap here tonight. Kyle Benson behind him. He's made up some ground after staying out here this time by. He's up 5 positions in second place here. Third place is going to be the 96 Austin Reedy, last week's runner-up. He's going to be in third place. Logan Shruett just behind him, staying out as well. That's going to be your top 4. The first driver, Dalton McKinney there, he pit on lap number 8. And the 6th place is going to be Tyler Murray in the 16 machine.
In 7th, we'll have Kyle Spees, last night's winner in the Truck Series. So he's got 3 wins on the season over 2 different series, including his one here at Daytona in the Silverback Tax Series. 8th place is going to be the first man on fresh tires. That'll be Jacob Manning. Row number 5 on this restart, we'll have Josh Sousey in the 53 car and Daniel Bowdler rounding out the top 10. Both came down pit road this time by.
Yep, so we'll see how these drivers on fresher tires feel after having about 20 laps better advantage on those sets of tires, and we'll see how important that track position is here too. Not before too long with those pace car lights off. Gonna get this thing kicked back off here quickly for the Granite 100.
And this is going to be interesting now. We're going to see how much tire wear comes into play around this racetrack. Obviously, it's a flat track. The way that they're kind of handling these lines, the aggressive restarts, might be exposing some more tire wear to these guys up front. Let's see if those guys that just came down this time under this caution can start making their way through the field here and how quickly those tires are going to pay off.
He's got the green flag ready to go, and he's going to be waving it as they cross that Geico restart zone. That's Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving again here in New Hampshire.
Another good jump there for the Tana Cole Martin. Now he's going to have Kyle Benson being the one applying some pressure. I think the one, if you're going to look for somebody to be a little bit aggressive early on in this run, look at that 96 of Austin Reedy. Never shy to get the nose in there and start mixing it up. And I think that car might be somebody that'll kind of apply a little bit of pressure here pretty quickly.
Wow, you can see just how much everybody fanning out, and nobody more than Cole Martin. He using all the track here at New Hampshire early on as these tires are still pretty cold. Kyle Benson hanging on there, just 2 car lengths back of the lead. They single file out up front, but these fresh tires are moving here.
4 wide as they make their way through 1 and 2 around those top 10 positions. So Kyle Spees in that mix, Joshua Susi in that mix. Seth Reed was in there 4 wide at New Hampshire, and they made it work. Let's see if they can do it again in 3 and 4. So 3 wide pretty easily.
Yeah, 3 wide. That's Tyler Murray hung out to dry there.
Oh, contact.
Yeah, Seth Reed, more contact for the 51 here. They stay 3 wide, going into 1. Think better of it. Settle down to 2 wide. Jacob Manning, though, moving up quickly through the field. That's your first driver that came down pit road now.
Yeah, and he broke away from that big scramble back there, too. So he's got not only fresh tires, but he's got a pretty clear path as well. Didn't have to deal with that log jam back there around the top 10. And Manning quickly making his way around Austin Reedy and up to the 3rd position. That might be somebody that might be moving up towards the front here very, very soon.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on him and keep an eye on that 53 who's making a move just behind him to the inside of Logan Shruett. Susi up to 5th now. He also came down pit road and was up running towards the front just behind Cole Martin. Yellow flag, Lautenslager back here.
Devin Zimmerman had a hard hit here with Craig Lautenslager. That was off the exit of turn 2. I think a couple of other cars got caught in that one, but the first one I saw sideways was Zimmerman in the 93. And he took a heck of a lick there at the end.
So let's go ahead, cue up the admin box rec replay here. We'll see the 93 gets into the 49, gave him a little shot going in here. That slows his momentum up, and then the 24, that's Jovi Ray, I do believe. He gets into the rear quarter panel, sends that 93 spinning.
And that was just, I think that really starts on the entry into 1 for Zimmerman, and then I'm trying to remember who that was in front, seeing all the cars right there. But when he kind of closed in there on the 49 of Bo Tiffany. I think you see that heavy contact there, and I think that just kind of disturbed that car, threw off his pace a little bit. Jovi might have thought, hey, I got a little bit of space here, try to get that look into the inside. They barely make contact there. That turns that 93 around, and it just happens. He's in a bad spot for that because the whole field coming up behind there, the whole back of the field, I should say.
Well, right on board here with the 83 of Adam Pettit. Jovi just in front of him. See his view here. He gets into Jovi too. That's a big hit there for the 83. Yeah,
that's going to be rough there. The nose of that 83 probably going to have some damage. That could mess with the engine. But just hearing over the radio, the EOL penalty going to go on the 24 of Jovi Ray. I think that is kind of what you would expect that call to be. So he's going to be at the back of the pack as we get restarted here at the end of this caution.
Yeah, so we'll let these guys get some damage fixed up, and we're going to step aside and pay a few bills, run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, pace car lights are off. Everybody's back where they need to be. We're going to get this thing kicked back off and see some green flag action here at New Hampshire. What do you say, Brandon?
I'm looking forward to it, and Cole Martin starting on the outside here this time from that lead position as we get going again.
Yeah, Kyle Benson to the inside there gets another really good jump here as he leads the way through 1 and 2. Austin Reedy, though, right to the outside of Jacob Manning. Those are your two freshest tires on the track.
Man, just a power move right here, trying to get that run on that inside line. Normally the outside carries the momentum, but those fresher tires for that 50 of Jacob Manning doing a great job. Look at that run he's got on the inside. He might be able to make a pass here on Kyle Benson. They're still side by side as they head towards turn 1.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and focus right now on Seth Reed. He's having connection issues and most likely being sent to the back here as he's slow through 1. He blinked out for a good while there.
Oh, car around in turn 2 right in the middle of the field, and I think everybody's going to miss Corey Stahl in that 33. He was sideways with about 2/3 of the field coming right at him, and nobody makes a connection there with that car.
Admin box getting their money's worth tonight. Another wreck replay. Let's go ahead see what happened here to the 33 machine of Corey Stahl.
So he's got the 66 and the 13 alongside, and Nathan De La Rosa and the 66 just washing up a little bit from that inside line. And amazing work from everybody. Great job by Corey holding the brake, staying predictable there, leaving that little bit of space possible for the outside to go by, and nobody else getting involved in this one. If there's a caution, that is the absolute best possible scenario for everybody, and I think including Corey Stahl. Even though he got turned around, no added damage to that 33.
Yeah, you can tell Nathan did everything he could to try and not have that happen, and knows what the result's going to be of that. He's most likely going to be the latest victim of that EOL penalty. So Corey Stahl going to try and get that car fixed up. Not too much damage, like you said.
Two things. Yeah, I was just going to say two things to note here. Cole Martin going to be the only one coming down pit road this time. He's going to go towards the back. And as that happened, before the pit road opener, they came up to pit road, announcement over the radio, single file restarts here for at least the time being.
Oh, my.
So that is a tough moment right there for Cole Martin, because double file, you're thinking fresh tires, I've got a bit of a run here. Single file restart, he's twice as far back from the race leader as he would have been.
Ooh. Well, that is going to be a heck of a feat if he can drive his way up through the field, or could just add to the aggression of drivers trying to get to the front here, as he is going to be way back here. That is going to be a long train as he comes out in 30th position after that.
Yeah, this is a rough night on the racetrack, and I think there's a lot of strategy that's just been kind of altered here in this one, and I understand it. I mean, they're having a tough time getting settled in early on after these cautions. We saw it on that last green flag run. You get about 3-4 laps out of the way, they start spreading out enough that you can get a decent run, but everybody on these restarts so bunched up, and everybody has so many different lines, so many different entry points. It just seems like it's just causing way too many problems out there, and Cole Martin back on pit road.
Yeah, so not sure what's going on there. If he's just topping off the fuel, get an extra lap, maybe he can make it to the end. I'm not totally sure. What a full fuel run here. That's exactly what it looks like. Just a quick splash and go for the 10, and maybe changing up his strategy too, like he's just said.
I'm not too sure what the one extra lap here at New Hampshire would have done. He would be good to go the rest of the way, unless he's thinking we get overtime restarts or anything like that, but I don't know. That's an interesting call. I mean, he's at the back of the pack anyway, so no harm, no foul, but...
Yeah, I mean, he was 30th, and now finds himself in 32nd now. But, I don't know if I would want to put myself all the way back there, and that's just really unfortunate to find out it's going to be single file there. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and I get the admins are trying to clean it up, and we got to have a good race here tonight, and we still got time to have that good race. Is 5 cautions here and 35 laps. It's not a good average so far.
No, we on pace for about 15 cautions at a 100-lap race. That is not what we want to be seeing, and it just comes down to aggression. It's one of those. It is a technical racetrack. It is a heavy braking racetrack, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to the drivers, and it's just been a heavily aggressive race, and we're just seeing these little contact moments that are just exploding into bigger issues out there on the racetrack, and hopefully the single file start. And you're seeing an Indy style right now with Jacob Manning going all the way up towards the wall, trying to block any run on the outside.
Yep, that's because you can pass on the right there on the restarts before the line, so you're going to defend that wall. And that's exactly what he does as we are back underway here, green at New Hampshire.
Now to see how this changes things out here on the racetrack, and look at the size of the jump that the 50 got. He's about 0.4 of a second clear. Remember, Kyle Benson still on the original set of tires from the start of this race. Everybody else around him, for the most part, has made that pit stop already. Daniel Bowdler being one of the exceptions there in position number 5. He's sitting there on those fresh tires. Excuse me, Joshua Susi as well in 3rd on those fresh tires also. So this is going to be a big mix-up here. A whole lot of different tire strategies and a lot of cars with some damage out there on the racetrack also.
Well, that's Jackson Wade in the 69 going to the inside of the 60. Josh Siegfried, so they're battling side by side. Logan Joyner gets by Michael Larch just behind him. Joyner trying to move up through the field. That's for 12th. The battle's starting to heat up here, even though that single file restart just happened.
Yeah, and it doesn't make it where, we're not going to see any passing or it's going to be something where it becomes a time trial. I mean, they're going to get those runs, and especially with the different tire strategies out there, it's just trying to spread the field out a little bit as Joshua Susi with a slide job as he had a deep entry there into turn 1, slides right up in front of that one of Kyle Benson. Kyle Benson going to try the crossover now. He's going to take the inside going into the turn 3 for second place.
Yeah, so Kyle Benson, who's yet to pit here tonight, still on his original set of tires. Ooh, gets really tight out of 4. Stays off the 53, but that just shows you how hard he's racing still. And that University of Northern Ohio #1 Chevy Camaro. And just like that, the 53 putting about 2 car lengths as he gets a little bit of clean air from that one. But Murray Reedy Motorsports having a strong showing here early on. 2 JW cars in the top 2 positions, 2 Murray Reedy Motorsports cars in the next 2.
As a nice night there. Remember those important team battles right there. Murray Reedy Motorsports, one of those teams trying to separate themselves from that tight pack, all at around 2 wins. Those bottom 5 teams there out of the 8 in the standings, all trying to gain some ground. JW Racing, they're trying to move 2 races clear potentially as they're having a great run here. And PVR, they've got Daniel Bowler sitting in the 5th position, but next up you got Logan Joyner down in 11th, and then you got to go back to Joshua Siegfried back in 17th. So this is a wide open opportunity here. JW leading that one. They could be finding themselves 6-1 at the end of this race.
Yeah, and that's going to feel good with how this is going to work. Like we keep saying, the top 2 teams are going to move on to a championship series, best out of 3. In those last 3 weeks. So your leader, Jacob Manning, in that 50 car as we near the halfway point. Still got some competition from his teammate there. You see him creeping into the picture there.
Hello.
Gets right onto the bumper of that 50.
You couldn't have timed that comment any better as he just appears on the screen and gets a little bit of contact there possibly. Maybe just close enough to look like there was contact on his teammate. But that 53 is screaming right now around this racetrack. Joshua Susi looking very strong out there in the 53. And not too sure. We saw Jacob Manning really running through the field. Maybe he kind of exposed those tires just a little bit quicker, being aggressive, working his way through that field as much as he did. Joshua Susi able to save a little bit as we got side-by-side off of 4 for the race lead between teammates.
Yeah, you see the points battle here. I mean, Manning's got a healthy lead over that cut line. Susi just a 23-point advantage. They make contact!
Whew. Oh, that's probably an interesting team Discord right now in the chat.
Yeah, it's not how you want to do it, but they stay side by side all the way through the backstretch. They probably understand the contact's going to happen here at these style of races. Just a note, Seth Reed is on pit road, multiple laps down now with connection issues he's had, so looking like the night might be done for the 51. That could hurt the graces for the JW Racing team here tonight, so we'll see how he rebounds in a few weeks. And in a few weeks, while we're talking about it, we'll talk about where these boys are going to be. Next race for these guys is going to be the Music City 135 out in Nashville.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. The Concrete Mile and a Third racetrack out in Tennessee. Always some good racing out there, but we got some great racing right now for the lead as Jacob Manning keeps taking that look, trying to get that lead back from Joshua Susi. As Susi, I think just he's protected those tires a little bit better, but both looking to be the class of the field right now.
Yeah, so new leader here. Susi getting that extra bonus point for leading that last lap and looking to set sail. He just looks like he's got the corner exit figured out in these Xfinity Series cars.
One thing I kind of want to touch back on, looking back in the field, we saw Cole Martin come down pit road on that last caution, started 32nd on that restart already, all the way up to 21st place, and in a tight race right there, as you see him getting real squirrely off of turn 4, trying to make his way around, trying to see who that is. It's Joshua Siegfried in the 60 car, working all the way down towards the apron, trying to set up a pass on Kyle Spies. That'll be for, I believe, the 18th position, actually. Cole Martin on a charge through the field right now.
Yep, Kyle Spies in 18th, Cole Martin 19th, and you're exactly right. Cole Martin knows he's got a lot of work to do as we near the halfway point of this race. Now taking a look to the inside of last night's winner at Talladega, Kyle Speeds, in that 25 machine. He's been very winning this year. He's got a lot of winning races so far. So that's not an easy guy to get by. He's going to pass 3 cars here through one turn.
Not often you see an attempt at a 3-for-1 in one side of a racetrack, but Cole Martin doing just that. He goes around Spees, goes around Daniel Keith Jr., sets up a pass on Adam Pettit, and we got the 36 around on the racetrack, Jack Johnson. And caution not coming out on the racetrack as he was off the racing surface.
Yeah, so he's going to get it going and got a lot of damage on that 36 JBR machine. But back out in front, you can see the gap just growing for the 53, almost 6 car lengths, I would say, ahead of his teammate there, Jacob Manning, and really putting some time between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Kyle Benson, 2.5 seconds as we cross the stripe to take the halfway mark of this race.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, Susi is pulling away from his teammate there, but they're both pulling away from the rest of the field as well. And Kyle Benson, I mean, kudos to him. He's still on that original set of tires, still holding on to the 3rd position, about 2.3 seconds behind the lead. That is an impressive job on 50-lap-old tires, just hanging in there as well as he is.
Max Service going to take a look to the inside of Bo Tiffany. This is for 6th place. Good to see both of these drivers having a good night here this evening. Lucas Lyons just behind him in the 48 car. So Highline Racing having a good showing here tonight at New Hampshire. They need a win.
That they do, and they're sitting in a really solid position. This comes, they did have a little bit of driver turnover. You see Cody Neal in the 47. We saw him earlier on in this race. He's taken the spot of Cole Martin. So they had a little bit of driver turnover this week, but despite all that, putting together one of their better performances here this season.
So Max Service going to take that 6th position away. It's going to move Bo Tiffany back to 7th here. So Cole Martin not too far behind these guys, up to 12th now. It's going to be 11th there. You see him using literally all of this racetrack. He's going well below the yellow line. Turns 3 and 4. He's way up high, really getting the speed out of 4.
Man, I do not see anybody else running anything close to that kind of line through 1 and 2. He's running a little bit more traditional there for I'd say most of the field in 3 and 4, running that middle line, getting that little bit of a diamond. But I do not see anybody else running on half the car on the apron of the racetrack in 1 and 2. And I think now that he's not dealing with traffic, he's not really going to look at that. So I think he's just using that as a way to try to get a little bit of extra distance, or cut a little extra distance there, and try to get in front of some of these cars that he's just significantly quicker than. I mean, this is the guy that's been the fastest on the racetrack, just set himself up to restart in 32nd with that pit stop. But one thing to keep in mind, he might be the only one that's good to go the rest of the way out of these lead contenders, because he came in on that last caution. Everybody else at the latest came in on lap 21. That's going to be pretty tight.
Yeah, and I mean, he came in and topped off as well, so he might even have a little bit extra if they need to go in overtime tonight. So looking like that single file restart might have helped calm things down a little bit. Right now, this battle for 9th is intense between Joyner, McKinney, and now Cole Martin showing up to the party.
Man alive, I just can't get over how much quicker that 10 car looks. He is just on a tear as he's going to work his way around Dalton McKinney and quickly set up a pass on Logan Joyner, now on Lucas Lyons as well in the 48, trying a 3-for-1 yet again in a half mile of space. Lyons going to get the run on the outside, but I think he might be looking in that mirror thinking there might be only another half a lap here before that position goes away.
That's wild to me, just to see how easy he's making that line look. Everybody else can see him doing it, but that's just something you got to practice, so he might have just kept that in the back of his mind while practice was happening, so nobody could pick up on it, and he is using it well here tonight. Now staring down Bo Tiffany to move up to 7th here shortly.
And that's one of those things we talk about practice a lot, and I think a lot of guys, they'll practice hot laps for qualifying. They'll practice, this is the line I want to be in. This is what I want to be doing. The guys that are going to be winning races are the ones that are practicing the atypical things, the things where you don't necessarily want to be, or the things that you might not be thinking everybody else is trying. Cole Martin, I think, has definitely put in some time trying some alternate lines around this racetrack, and it's not an easy track to pass. There is some passing opportunities, but when you do something as atypical as he's doing, that can go a long, long way. As we check in on the race for fourth, Austin Reedy just ahead of Kyle Benson and Max Service. All three having really solid runs here tonight.
Yeah, Reedy and Benson, the two drivers who have yet to come down pit road in this race tonight, so they're going to probably be getting close to having to make that decision to come down a pit under green, which is probably what they were not hoping to do. Made their bed and probably were hoping to get a caution of sorts to help out their cause, maybe come down and pit during that. But, hey, it's a one-stop race for everybody left in this field. Maybe not Cole Martin. We're not sure on that, but we'll see.
Yeah, and that's kind of a scary thing right now that the fastest guy on the racetrack looks to be the one that should be good to go the rest of the way. I think Adrian Schumacher and Corey Stahl might be in a similar position, but they're back outside of the top 20 as they came in on that last caution also. So this is going to be one of those races that, little tight moment there in that race for fifth as Kyle Benson got a little hot going into turn one, nearly made contact with Max Service. I gotta tell you, those are two of the cleaner drivers out there, so you nearly see contact between those two. It's a little bit of a shock, but they did a great job keeping it off each other.
That's a Service with the fresher tires. He wants that track position from Kyle Benson. Benson trying to use that line that Martin is using there on the apron, because you see Martin start to creep up in the picture as he starts to run down these boys for sixth and fifth. And, yeah, he's going to be wanting to race for the lead here before not too long.
Man, just an incredible run there, and I like that. I want to know who's in Kyle Benson's ear saying, hey, there's Cole Martin coming, and he's running on the apron at times, so maybe we give that a shot out there. And to try it on 50 or 60 lap old tires, just real aggressive there as we got a pass possibly here for fourth place. As Max Service taking a look to the inside, that power run on the outside with the momentum, good for Austin Reedy, but they might have a little bit of a pick here with that damaged car at Jack Johnson. That might help out Max Service here in this battle.
Certainly will help Max Service as Reedy's stuck behind that heavily damaged 36 that we saw spinning not too long ago on the backstretch that did not bring a caution out. He got that car fixed up. Still just one lap down, though, and I have to imagine he's going to be down on power, but Max Service moves up to fourth. That puts Reedy back to fifth. Kyle Benson starting to fall back from these guys a little bit as Cole Martin is running him down quickly.
And Cole Martin made up 0.4 of a second that last time by, and caution out on the racetrack. This might change a whole lot, and this is a parking lot just about with 4 cars turned around on the front straightaway.
Remember that thing I was talking about coming down pit road during green? Not too long ago. That is out the window, I would say, here as we are under caution for the 6th time tonight. Let's go ahead and cue up that admin box rec replay.
Amazing how that always seems to happen right as we're talking about it.
Right? It's funny. All right, let's go ahead and ride with the 16 here on the blimp cam. Inside of Corey Stahl, they're going to make contact on the exit of 4. Sends the 16 heavy into the wall. It's one of those tracks with walls on both sides, so not a lot of room for these guys to escape from all this carnage, too.
Yeah, and I think I saw the 8 of Jeff Radke get a little bit of damage in there as well. We saw Chris Bishop on the live shot also, and yeah, I think this is one of those moments. Taking a look at it, it looked like the 16 of Tyler Murray trying to take that typical line, and I think Corey Stahl in the 33 just a little bit lower on the exit than maybe Murray was anticipating. They just kind of met in the middle there. That's one of those moments I'm glad I'm not an admin on having to decide that one. That's going to be one of those tougher calls. Just seemed like they were going for the same real estate. Nothing, I don't think either really did too wrong there, but it's going to collect a few others in the mix-up here.
Chris Bishop almost getting by there, getting T-boned right at the line. Heavy damage. The 42 car who was involved in an incident a little while earlier in this race. So, everybody going to take the opportunity to come down pit road, it looks like, except for one driver, and that's going to be the 7, our points leader, Joshua Balliet, staying out this time.
Man, what a difference. And this seems so much like last night where we had Raul Meza all the way in the back, one lap down, had to get the lucky dog, winds up in 3rd place. Joshua Balliet all the way in the back after that first caution, and look where he is right now. That car looking a little worse for wear, but he's picked up a bonus point for leading a lap, and I think he's sitting there in position. He's going to have a 30-lap older tires, so he might be a bit of a sitting duck. But if he's thinking that, hey, maybe this thing kind of opens up a caution fest again, might be in a pretty good position here on track position.
Yeah, this could be a hell of a call if it works out for the 7, but we will have to see if it does. We'll give you a rundown of the new top 10 after that incident and this round of pit stops. These guys should be able to make it through the rest of the way. So Balliet is going to be your leader there in the 7 machine. Quite the night, like we already said, with the damage, but not a very aero-dependent track. Might be all right if it holds on there. And first, Susie there, he comes out, the first car of all the cars that pitted as he was leading before that caution came out here. He's going to be sitting right behind Balliet to the outside, more than likely on this restart. Watch out for him to make some noise. Jacob Manning just behind him in the 50 machine. Led some laps here tonight for his JW Racing team. Currently running P number 3. Daniel Bowler started in 4th, currently running in 4th in that Silverback Tax Solutions number 6 Chevy Camaro. See if he can make up some spots here. It looks like Balliet dropping back.
He actually requested an EOL to go to the back of the line, so I think he was wanting to get a bonus point, lead a lap, knew he was kind of in a bad position, and requested to go back towards the back of the field.
All right, see, that's why we have you keep the chat on, so you know what's going on, because I have no clue. Can't hear anybody talking. So, yeah, that's going to hand the lead over to the 53 machine of Susie. That puts Manning and Bowler as 2nd and 3rd. Max Service, he's going to be 4th on this restart. Cole Martin 5th. Kyle Benson in 6th. Austin Reedy 7th. Lucas Lyons is 8th. Bo Tiffany, he's going to be in 9th place, with Logan Joyner just to his outside in 10th place. So, looking like we're going to get this thing kicked back off here. I think those pace car lights are off. Josh Susie going to opt to start on the outside lane with his teammate just to his inside.
Yeah, and by the way, you just kind of mentioned outside lane. That's because we're back to double file restarts after that 30-something lap run. They're saying, hey, you guys can handle this racetrack. Let's try it again.
Yeah, sometimes you got to treat them like little kids here. Take something away just to treat them, teach them a little lesson. And look, they're going to kick it off here, and we're going to have a 33 green flag lap run to the end as Susie gets out to the front. Manning in 2nd, Service gets 3rd as Ballard falls back to 4th.
As you were saying that on my second screen, I was watching 4 wide racing through 1 and 2 and thinking, man, I hope you just didn't jinx that.
No.
As they got some tight racing there. 1 sideways and they're wrecking in 3.
Deutscher there, the 18, big hit there from the 45. I believe that was Daniel Keith Jr. finishing him off there. So Deutscher is going to be more than likely the cause of this caution. Maybe I did jinx it a little bit there.
I think he was on the outside 3 wide going into turn 3 and just heard over the radio. It sounds like we're going back to single file after that one. But it looks like he was outside 3 wide. So we go to the admin box rec replay for the 7th caution of the night, and he is, in fact, outside 3 wide. Got Dalton McKinney on the middle, Jackson Wade on the outside, and McKinney just kind of washing up there on the entry to 3, making a little bit of contact. 18 goes around, and yeah, that was the 45 of Daniel Keith Jr. Got Corey Stahl backing into the wall as well. Just behind that, a rough night here for the 33 continuing.
Yeah, so you can see the accordion effect happening here. It's just cars everywhere. Jeremy Little gets into him, sends the 33 up into the wall.
I think I saw the 66 of Nathan De La Rosa also caught up in this. He gets turned into Adrian Schumacher. Adam Pettit caught up, got the 54. Nick Halda involved. There's a whole lot more cars involved in this in the back half of it.
And there goes Balliet just on through there. As he was just leading not too long ago, went back to the back with that EOL, and he's just going to cruise on by all the carnage happening. So if you guys on pit road getting their cars fixed up here, Joshua Susie going to be out in front of the rest of the pack. And we're going to step aside, run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktx.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
So pace car off, single file restart coming as Joshua Susi leads them back to the line. That's Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving here again at New Hampshire.
And as we go back to the single file restarts, looking like a whole lot better, a whole lot smoother here. Is the little graphic there as we get going again here. 0.6 of a second jump though for Joshua Susi over Jacob Manning. Keep an eye on Cole Martin though. I want to see if he can keep that run going that he had. Now that everybody's on the same age tires, see if he's still got that speed. But he was clearly showing himself to be the fastest out there on the racetrack that last green flag run.
Well, pole sitter tonight, I have to imagine he does have the speed. He's going to consider taking it 3 wide here. Goes to the outside of Max Service as Ballard is to the inside of that 81. Martin going to think better of it as he gets loose off it too there.
Yeah, a little bit of looseness there off of turn 2 just gave him that little bit of momentum lost, and Daniel Bowdler able to capitalize, pulls back out in front in the 4th position, and we got single file pretty much through the entire 20 right.
Whole field really opted to just take it easy for the time being. And as we say that, Cole Martin jumps out and starts seeing if he can get a little bit of a run on these guys as Kyle Benson feeling a little bit better now with those fresh tires on that one. He was getting really close to the end of that fuel run there on that green flag run. He's going to try and make a run of going back to back here tonight, currently running in 6th place. Further on back, that's Bo Tiffany. He's side by side with Logan Truitt there. That's going to be your 10th place battle here.
Good racing there. Oh, real tight moment as Vincent Cortez in the 23 washing up the racetrack, nearly making contact with the 69 of Jackson Wade. And for Vincent Cortez, he had a strong run going, had some connection issues, was blinking a bit and had to give up some spots right before a caution came out. And he's been trying to work his way back up through the field. There he is blinking again as he's got that Jackson Wade right underneath the back bumper of that car. They are going real tight. And if I'm Jackson Wade, I'm thinking I might give him a little bit more space with him blinking like that.
And that's going to put Kyle Speeds to the inside of Jackson Wade. Now 25 trying to get on by and take over that 14th position. Wow, Jackson Wade gets loose door slams the 25, but keeps it going. That was a dicey moment there for those two guys.
And Kyle Spees, one of those guys that just always knows where to put that car and keep it out of trouble. And that was a rare moment that he almost found a little bit of trouble out there on the racetrack as he does work his way around Jackson Wade. That'll be good for the 14th position right now. Kyle Spees up 19 spots since the start of this race. I believe that's the highest mover throughout the race. Is Lucas Lyons, the only one close to him, who's up to 8th place after starting in 26th.
Right now, Joshua Susi maintaining that lead. His teammate Jacob Manning just behind him, only 0.3 of a second separating those two drivers. And Max Service quietly in third. And as I say that, Cole Martin going right to the inside, using that inside lane. Is he going to try and slide job him? No, he can't do it.
No, it wasn't quite clear, and that's going to give that outside run to Max Service. But I think here, if we see Cole drive that big dive once again, he'll be able to pull off that slide job in turn 4, and he does do that. See if Service can pull off the crossover. Might be a little bit too much of a gap there after that big run and the entry into 3, and it is.
So Cole Martin up to third. Only has 2 more guys to pass, and he's going to be right where he left off before coming down pit road and falling back to 32nd position, about a halfway point of this race. So that just goes to show you the speed that our pole sitter has here tonight.
And he's well on his way to a season best finish here. As Cole, his best run this season so far was a 5th at Gateway, another one of those flat tracks at a 7th at Richmond. 2 of his 3 best finishes there. So these flat tracks really boding well for Cole Martin, but voting best right now for Joshua Susi, who continues to lead this thing by about 1/3 of a second.
Yeah, 20 laps to go. He's starting to feel pretty good about his chances. Like I said, no more need for these guys to come down pit road. Their beds have been made, and they know how important this track position is here. They are going to keep these tires and finish out what they got as they cross the stripe to go 19 laps to go.
And it looks like Manning a little bit stronger in 1 and 2, Susi a little bit stronger in 3 and 4, but as I say that, this time they're pretty level out as we watch this race here for 10th place with Bo Tiffany and Logan Truitt. Dalton McKinney just kind of sitting there. Whoa, oh, that was Vincent Cortez blinking pretty good there again. So that might be some trouble there. They might be giving him some communication here pretty soon about maybe even bringing that thing down pit road as much as that 23 car has been blinking.
So back up with our leaders. This is on board the 50 of Jacob Manning. You can see him trying to figure out how to catch his teammate. For a while they work together, but at the end of the day they go to battle, and it's been quite a few times that you and I, Brandon, have both seen JW Racing teammates go for it at the end of races for that win, and I think we're going to see that again here tonight with the 50 and the 53 really showing the way. They're going to have a hard time holding off this 10 of Cole Martin, but both these guys looking pretty good here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen JW Racing. I mean, they are not shy about racing each other. It might not be up to those two, though, as Cole Martin right there on that back bumper of the 50 car, Jacob Manning. And Martin starting to move his way through the field again, or at least closer to the lead, I should say, still holding that 3rd position. He's been about a 1/10 of a second quicker these past few laps, though, than Joshua Susi. It's all going to be about can he get around this 50 of Jacob Manning and start to close in even more. And I got to be thinking Joshua Susi sitting there on the radio with Jacob going, hey, maybe give me a little bit of help and make his life a little bit hard here as he's trying to get around for second.
Yeah, it's hard to do when you're using as much of the track as the 10 is. Gets a good run off to right on the bumper there of the 50. He might take a look here going by. He's going to run the high line this time.
Yeah, taking a look on the high side. He's going to get that momentum there, diving off of turn 4. See if he can get this run into turn 1. We know he likes doing that low line. Jacob Manning going to block that low run, though. He's going to give him the high line. And we're going to be side by side as they're both going to try to diamond it, giving each other some room there. As Cole Martin going to try to get that momentum once again off of turn 2.
He's got him cleared here. The 50 going to have to really send it in. Washes up, and Cole Martin takes sole possession a second, I do believe. Yep, he's going to clear him.
See if, I mean, I don't think there's going to be that inside dive. I think we know where Cole might be going here this time by, as he's going to learn a little bit lower. Actually, he's going to go with that diamond yet again and hold on to that second position. And now it's going to be, can he make up 3/4 of a second on Joshua Susi? We've seen him be, when he wasn't making a pass, about 1/10 of a second faster every lap. He's already gained 1/10 of a second since making that pass. A little bit of a worse entry, though, into 3 as Susi pulls away. See if Martin can make that up on the exit.
So 13 laps to go for the driver of the 53 machine, Susie Martin Manning. Max Service and Daniel Bowler, that's going to be your top 5. The laps winding down for the Granite 100 here to wrap up week number 7. This race has turned into a pretty good one once they get these things sorted out with these single file restarts.
It absolutely has, and watching the scoring pylon here, it'll tell the whole story. Joshua Susi stronger on entry, Cole Martin stronger on exit, and Susi that time actually about 0.04 of a second faster than Cole Martin on that last lap, so maybe he saved a little bit of those tires trying to make sure he had something for him at the end of this one, knowing that 10 was charging.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how well he's maintaining that gap. He's kind of put the distance between him and Manning, like you said. So exactly what you said, actually. He is putting the times down and showing. He's got a little bit of late run speed like he's shown all night long in that 53. Coming to the stripe, 11 laps to go. Not much action as far as battles go out there on the track with 24 drivers here on the lead lap. I don't think any lap traffic going to be an issue for our leaders here as these laps start to wind down.
No, it doesn't appear so. I think we might be seeing maybe about 5 seconds ahead of them, Daniel Keith Jr. and Devin Zimmerman. So they might reach those two. As you can see them off into the distance, they're already at the start-finish line as Susi exiting turn 4. So that might be a factor later on in this if this thing stays green. But, I mean, not much of a factor right now is that interval. It's continuing to hold around 7 or 8/10 of a second.
Yeah, let's bring up those times just to show you at home. Not much time being gained. If anything, Susi's putting the time on Cole Martin. Only 1 green lap for Martin in the last 5. And I think we're going to see a lot of the same here. Just really good exit speed for the 53 off of 4, putting some big time there between him and the 10.
And what I'm seeing on the entries now, it's getting a little bit more drastic on Cole Martin losing ground to Susi. And I think what's happening is he noticed that Susi was stronger on the entry. I think Cole was trying to find a little bit of a different line to see if he can make up that gap. Because we got one in the wall, actually, in turn 1. We're going to stay green. Think of those Lucas Lions that got into the wall. But no caution coming out on the racetrack. But I think what Cole was doing was trying to search for a line that can get him back to dropping that lead interval. Just didn't seem he could find it.
So 8 more laps to go and only 0.06 of a second separating the 2 drivers that time. So pretty much mirroring each other's laps here. This is going to be a pressure-filled moment for Josh Susi. And it's not easy winning in this league, and Cole Martin's done it before. It's just a whole different mindset when you're trying to get that first one compared to trying to stack on more to what you got already.
No, without question. I mean, you've got experience with the win. I have yet to get a win here in SRN. I can tell you, when you get close to those moments, you do feel that pressure for sure, and I think anybody would be lying if they said that they didn't. But Joshua doing a great job right now. Just he's continuing to open up that lead. Now about 9/10 of a second, building towards 1 second with 7 laps to go, and there's not a whole lot of lap traffic ahead as he's going to work his way around the 36. I don't think he's really going to have to interact with too much more these last 6 laps.
Yeah, that's Jack Johnson, who's already a few laps down back in 27th. He gets on by him cleanly here. We'll see how Cole Martin does getting by the lap traffic with 6 laps to go. Cole's starting to close in a little bit there. Gets a good run out of 4. Close the gap just a tiny bit here, but we'll see if he's got anything for our leader, Josh Susi, as the laps continue to tick off here. Good green flag run to the end. Brandon, I predicted it.
Yeah, I think those single file restarts went a long way here as Susi, again, it's the same thing. Stronger on actually this time Martin was stronger on the entry. Susie was stronger on the exit by about 3 times the amount that Martin made up on the entry. So whatever line that Martin is trying just does not seem to be working right now, as Susie just holding his ground, and I don't think he's really changed a whole lot. He's just been kind of comfortable running his own line, working around this lap traffic when it has shown up as he approaches Devin Zimmerman. And Zimmerman kind of running that low line, and I think that was just a little misinterpretation there of what line he was going to be taken by Joshua Susie. And man, still kind of holding that inside line there. That's going to cost about a quarter of a second here on the race lead.
Yeah, that was a big gain there for Cole Martin. We'll see how hard it is for him to get by the 93, but that just made it a little more interesting as the 53 was opening that gap up between him and Cole Martin. So 4 laps to go, a little bit of a white knuckle moment for our leader, but hanging on tough here.
And Cole got a big contact into Devin Zimmerman. Martin, you're making contact. He's going to lose a whole lot more time as he got really aggressive trying to get around the 93, the lap car, Devin Zimmerman.
Yeah, he didn't want to waste any time. Did his little slide job like he's done all night long, but did make contact. Stays green, though. Fortunate for him, that would have been an EOL if a caution had come out right there. But it's down to these two guys. 1 second separating our leaders here, as we are down to 3 laps to go. He comes through turns 3 and 4 to see 2 fingers from our stand. Barney is given 2 to go here for the Granite 100.
Old Barnabas given those 2 laps to go there. Still a 1 second lead for Joshua Susie. They're about a 1.5 seconds clear of Max Service, who's got a great battle with Jacob Manning right now as they're side by side through 1 and 2. That the race for 3rd place, but only 1.5 miles left here in New Hampshire tonight.
Yeah, so Susie sends it into 3 and 4, sees a comfortable lead, no pressure, just has 6 more turns to complete. Now exiting turn 4. Seeing that white flag waving, 1 lap to go here at New Hampshire.
See a great race right there for 3rd all the way back to 7th. They're all separated by about 1 second for those 5 positions. It's that same gap, though, for Joshua Susie over Cole Martin for the race win.
Yeah, so they both exit 2 cleanly, 1.2 seconds separating our leaders. Susie goes into turn 3 nice and smooth. He can smell it. He can see it. He is seeing his first checkered flag waving as he comes off of turn 4, and he is a winner here in SRN.
Man, that's got to feel good. And he had a great result at Gateway earlier this season, a pretty similar racetrack with a 3rd place finish. So these flat tracks looking like a little bit of a specialty here for Joshua Susie. That is just a great night for a first win here at Loudon.
Yeah, did you get that lobster ready for him, Brandon? I know you were supposed to be getting that ready for our winner here tonight. He's going to have to go ahead home with a lobster.
I think still in the pot right now, actually. So,
well, he's going to come around and get to taste victory, do some donuts here on the front straightaway of New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the first time in Speed Racing Network. Let's see what he's got in that JW Racing machine.
A little wall contact, but he's all good at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't need the car anymore.
Just going to use that to help out with his burnout and really smoked out those rear tires right now as he's getting every bit of good out of those good years.
Absolutely. He's going to soak it up and enjoy celebrating here at New Hampshire. The Magic Mile is in the books for the Silverback Tax Series, guys. So let's head on up into the blimp and get your top 20 for tonight's race number 7 here. So halfway done through the regular season. It's starting to start counting here as we get towards the playoffs, and that cut line is going to start growing in the eyes of a few of the guys down there at the bottom. Josh Susie comes home a winner here tonight. Cole Martin is your runner-up. Max Service, he's going to be the last driver on the podium, coming home in 3rd place tonight. Jacob Manning in 4th, and Daniel Bowler finishes P number 5.
In position number 6, it'll be Austin Reedy with his teammate Kyle Benson finishing in 7th. Logan Joyner will be the 8th place finisher. Logan Truitt in 9th with Dalton McKenney rounding out our top 10.
Kyle Spees in 11th. Bo Tiffany's going to be 12th. Jovi Ray comes home in 13th. Lucas Lyons in 14th. Jeffrey Ratke is going to be 15th.
It'll be Jackson Wade finishing in 16th position with Jonathan Byer in 17th. Nick Halda will be in 18th. Michael Larch in 19th. Joshua Siegfried in 20th. And since there's only 2 others on the lead lap, Christopher Bishop in 21st. And Joshua Palliette with that up and down night will finish on the lead lap at the end of it in 22nd.
So let's go ahead, get to those post-race interviews and see if we can find Max Service, bring him on up. Third place driver here tonight. Max, it's Greg Olenek and Brandon Domain up here in the SRN broadcast booth. Congrats on a solid run here this evening. Coming home P at number 3. Tell us about your run here tonight in that 81 machine.
Yeah, it's really good considering how the season's going. It seems like every time we run good, we just end up in a wreck. But I was just good on the long run. I'm awful at New Hampshire on the short run. I was pretty uncomfortable with the brakes into the corner, but it just started rolling the center. My spotter Seth helped me out a bunch with getting the line right, running the seams right, and that's what I was doing at the end there. And I don't think we had a winning car, but you know, the longer the tires went, the better we got. So that's the only reason why we got up front.
Well, honestly, that kind of sounds like your typical races that I got comfortable with and racing with you for the couple seasons there. Those long runs, you just always seem to have it figured out. And I know we got this break coming up for the build week, and then one race at Nashville, and then the holiday break. But we're kind of getting more towards these more traditional style racetracks. Is that going to be something that you're looking forward to after, like you said, just kind of finding trouble at every point here early on in this season up until tonight?
It seems like I kind of do well at 1.5 miles, especially when we have to save the tires. That's usually where I kind of come to life on the long run. Usually I'm irrelevant for about half the race and then show up. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't necessarily like a bunch of the tracks on the schedule. I'm not very good at any of them, but we'll work our way forward as the race goes on, even wherever we qualify. We'll see.
Well, before we let you go, Max, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to?
Yeah, of course. As you know, here at Tank Racing, we got a bit of a laundry list. I got to start out with Burgard's, my spotter Seth for helping me out tonight. 100 on Anesthesia, Healthcare Billing Incorporated, 213 Simware, Invader Sim Designs, RJ Bishop's Designs, and my Tank Racing teammates, and you guys for putting this on for us.
Well, we appreciate it, Max, and congratulations on a great run here tonight. Enjoy the week off for the build week next week, and we'll see you out at Nashville for week number 8. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I can turn my season around a little bit, and I also got to shout at the admins. They had a hard go tonight.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate it, man. Take care and have a good night.
You too.
All right, so that was Max Service coming home in P number 3. Let's go ahead and move up to the runner-up of tonight's race. That's going to be Colt Martin. Cole, man, you had a heck of a race car out here tonight, coming up one position short. I know that's got to hurt, but what's it mean to be running as dominant as you were here tonight? You had a very fast number 10 race car tonight.
It feels good to be back in the booth with you guys. It's been, I guess, a year and a half or two since I've been here. It's been a while, and it was I don't know, it was a tough race for me because I screwed myself over with the pit stops, but ran through the field and then luckily got a caution there, and catching Joshua was a pain. I mean, I burned him up trying to catch him. So, but congrats to him, and it's a good run up there in the front.
Man, I just got to ask, where did you come up with that line in 1 and 2 that we saw you running so much with going down those left sides on the apron? I think you were the only one we saw really trying anything that aggressive, and you were making it work. I mean, how closely did you keep that secret up until this race?
Well, I've been kind of keeping it a secret. Me and my boys Logan, Jovi, Bowler, Cody Neal, we're all good friends. We don't get to practice like we used to in the old days, but we still get to practice a little bit, and we've been practicing that line a little bit, and this is a good way to dive bomb and pass people.
Well, it certainly was for you tonight, man. You passed a lot of cars. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you passed the most cars here tonight with how you were making that line work. But it's good to talk to you, as always. I didn't realize it's the first time you've been in the booth here all week or all season, because you've been running really well all season long. Just had some trouble here in these weeks early on in the season. But before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to?
Yeah, I like to thank Logan, Daniel, Jovi, Cody, all the guys over there, and I like to thank my spotter, Ilrail, new spotter up in the spotter stand this week, and I think it's about it. Go get some Mountain Dew too.
Yeah, I like the Code Red car, man. Looked good out there. So, congratulations on the runner-up, Cole. Hopefully, you can turn it into a win next week or 2 weeks from now when we get out to Nashville. But for the time being, man, have a good night.
Thank y'all. Y'all did a great job.
Appreciate it, man. Well, that was Cole Martin coming home P number 2. One spot short of what I'm sure he wanted, but he gave a few shout-outs to this man right here, Joshua Susi, our winner here this evening. Josh, first off, congratulations, man, on your first win here in SRN. Not easy to come by any means, but you looked like you've been there before with how well you ran that end of the race. Tell me what was going through your mind there at the end once Cole Martin got by your teammate there, Jacob Manning.
I was really just hoping the lap traffic was going to play nice and, just hyper focused on hitting my marks and not making a mistake. And I felt like I could match his pace. And as long as I was mistake free, I could maintain where I was at.
Well, man, I mean, you did a heck of a job tonight, obviously getting the win, and it just seemed like you had so much control of that race car. And once we got to that long run after that first single file restart, it just seemed like you had yourself in a great position, getting your way around your teammate there, and it just seemed like you had the balance of the speed and the tires around this racetrack. What kind of went into that process of figuring out what you needed to do? And it seemed like you had that line that was comfortable, but also had a little bit of flexibility out there as well.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, man. I've always vibed with this track. It's a driver's track, and I get it's hard to pass and everything, but it's really about precision and hitting your marks and not making a mistake. And I always seem to run really well at tracks where it's you versus the track more than you versus your competition. And I got sort of a ritual going on where if I get a new piece of equipment and I run a league race that same day at New Hampshire, for some reason I won. I did it when I got my wheel, and I just got my new PC today, and the legend lives on, I guess.
Well, sounds like you need some new monitors, or I mean, we could come up with a list for you if you need it. It's a good time of year for that.
Butt kicker sponsorship. Let's say butt kicker.
Butt kicker, we'll figure something out for you, man. But great win, man. Great drive here tonight, and you really made a name for yourself here at New Hampshire. Before we let you go, though, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, everyone at JW Racing, them bringing me on board, and Rogue Energy and all the partners associated with the team. My personal sponsor in Nitro Racing, big shout out to them. I love running this track. Like I said, it's my home track, so puts a little extra pressure on me. I'm glad I can perform well. And we had some stiff competition out there, so everyone that ended up in the top 5 and top 10, it was good running. All the admins doing their stuff behind the scenes and keeping the eye on this guy. I know it's not easy, so I love watching your guys' broadcast. I can't wait to see it. I want to thank you again for doing what you guys do. I think it's the second time I've been able to talk to you. It's been a little bit since I have, and I'm hoping to change that, but it's a stiff competition here, so I can't guarantee nothing. And last and certainly not least, I want to give a big shout out for Betsy going down to turn 1 in the stands, row 3 up. She was our good luck charm there at the end of the race, so the boys will know what I'm talking about.
Well, man, we appreciate the kind words, and I believe Brandon's going to be getting in touch with you after the race. He's got a lobster to send your way. I'm not sure how the logistics work on that, but hey, a winner at New Hampshire, you got to have a lobster, right?
Yeah, 5 hours north. I can come down and pick it up.
All right, yeah. Well, man, best of luck when we get out to Nashville in 2 weeks, and yeah, like you said, hopefully we'll be talking to you some more here as the season winds down.
All right, boys, appreciate it.
All right, so that was Josh Susi, our winner here tonight, Brandon, and just like that, Week 7's in the books.
Yeah, Week 7 in the books, and it'll be a couple weeks until we see everybody again as iRacing with that build week next week, and with some of the things that have gone haywire in the past, decide let's take that week off. But we'll be back in big fashion with the Cup Series coming up, and the Tuesday after next, Talladega for those guys. And I know you were saying you were looking forward to the truck stop as well, as we'll be right back here in Louden next week for the trucks.
Yeah, we'll see if they let me come back and race with them. I had a great time, like I said, last night. And looked like, once they got things calmed down here, tonight. A lot of the drivers sound like they had a great time as well. Valiant battling with everybody and coming up through the field just like Josh Susie was and Cole Martin. All these drivers passing a lot of guys here tonight. But it was an exciting week 7. Like Brandon said, we're going to have a week off for the iRacing build week next week. We'll be right back at it 2 weeks from now. You can just find us right here on Speed Racing Network. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you know exactly when we do go live. But that's going to do it for us for now. For everybody here behind the scenes, myself, Brandon Domain, and each and every one of the drivers, we sincerely thank you guys for watching, stopping by, chatting with us. Please have a good night, stay safe, and go fast.